What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Carl. This is your first time at the channel. Welcome. If you've been here a while, welcome back. So today we're going to go through a complete start to finish with the Qmate system through GotPhoto. So I'm going to show you exactly step by step what I'm doing to get the photos from GotPhoto in the Qmate system, both for our standards and our customs, uploaded, how fast it is, and get this thing to selling as quick as possible. See you then. Alright everyone, so we're going to go through and do a complete breakdown of Qmate and the entire system, how to upload, how to get this stuff running. We brag about how quick it is. I want to show you guys all of that. So I first want to start in GotPhoto. I'm going to go to my photo management because this is something, just an added piece that I know a lot of people are not familiar with. So I'm going to go into my cropped folder here. So all I did was I uploaded every single child. So it doesn't matter what sport they're in. It's all here. So I've got the entire school in here. Basketball, cheerleading, wrestling. So I've got everybody in here, right? Now, if I come over here to individual actions and resort photos to albums, I can resort this by group, teacher, group, then teacher. So however you have this displayed in your spreadsheet is how I'm going to go ahead and resort these. So I sort these by group, so I'm just going to resort. Now GotPhoto does all of the sorting for me. And this is a huge step for what we do. Obviously, this is only like 30, 40 kids. But when you've got thousands of kids that you're working with, this will save your life. And boom, just like that, now this cropped folder should be completely empty. So as you notice, she empty. So what we're going to do is go back to our photo management tab, and now you can see it's actually separated each one into their respective folders. So boys basketball, boom, I've got all the boys basketball kids. Girls basketball, same thing, I've got all the girls in here, right? So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and upload the group photos into their respected teams. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to get these team photos in here, I typically split my screen. And then, so I've got boys basketball, I can upload group. I've got the boys basketball team here. I start upload. And another little quick piece here in GotPhoto that you guys might not have known about is I can jump right here and then scroll through my albums. So again, it's very quick. But I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me upload. So I'll see you in just a second once these are all uploaded. Alright, so now that everything is uploaded, I'm going to jump into the Qmate system itself. So when I first open this, this is what you're going to see. Alright, so we start at the Manage Jobs tab. I'm going to create a new job, and we're just going to call this DTMS Winter Sports. Alright, so I'll hit OK. It's going to create a folder for me. That's fine. And I'm done there. So now I just go through the tabs. So I want to go to my GotPhoto import, and I type in all of my credentials. So essentially just logging in to GotPhoto. Once you're logged in, you're going to select your job. So I'm just looking for that specific job, and then import photos and data. All right, so I'm going to start the import process now. All right, so I have different different sports here. So if I wanted different like sport specific backgrounds, I would want to select just wrestling or just cheer, but I'm not. I'm going to keep these pretty generic. So I'm going to import everybody at the same time. And now you can see it's actually importing all of the images into Qmate. All right, so now that that's imported, now we're going to go into our template selection. And essentially what we want to do, I've got to pull this out just so we can see it here. All right, so essentially what we want to do is add the template here, okay? And I've got a couple templates we're going to use. Now, one of the sticking points with Qmate is you cannot select multiple templates, so you do have to import these individually. So that was just their gym. So I'm going to do a couple of just different angles of their gym that I did. Now, normally I would put like a Gaussian blur or something on these, but I didn't just for this demo. I just wanted to get this up fairly quickly. Let's see. And then I've got a couple other ones. So just some standard templates that I want to add. I've got a gray template in here, just kind of like a old master's background. And then I think I had some lockers I was going to do. Yeah, so something just very generic. This is just our standard templates, right? So now what I like to do is I'm going to call these standard. And I'm going to rename all of my templates that name. And I'll show you why here in just a bit. All right, so they're all going to save as JPEGs into an individual tab. Now, you can do this with the group as well if you would like, but I don't need it for this one. So I'm going to go to preview my output, and you can see right from here, you can go through and check all of these, right? So just running through and checking, making sure that they're switching. All right. And everything looks pretty good. All right. So, and then I can check cheer, I can check basketball. So I can go through all of these and check these to make sure they look good. But they all pretty much look good. So I'm just going to go to GotPhoto export. Now, this is why, so I want to make sure we're in that job and the output options. So there's a couple different options here. Flat is supposed to save all of them into one album. And I've had some trouble with this one, and so they may have updated it by now, but that's why I switched everything to standard, because now I can create template album. And so if I wanted it to save into those specific albums based on the name of the template, this is what I would pick. All right. So this is what I'm going to pick just because I want to make sure it all goes into that template or that standard album. Now there's some advanced options here. You can, there's some overwrite options and image skipping. The image skipping is basically if you're doing a memory mate and it doesn't have a team photo, it's going to skip that image because it doesn't recognize. And then the overwrite option, obvious, is if you want it to overwrite images. So we're going to go ahead and start the export, and it's 785 images. So we're going to go ahead and start this, and I really want to show you guys, like, this is live time. I am not speeding this up. So I kind of want you to bear with me just for a second so you can see exactly how long it's taking for this to go. And I might let it go through a couple templates and then I'll speed this up, but I'll let you know when I speed it up so you know the difference between how the Qmate system is actually working versus it being sped up, because I want you guys to see the power of this system. And the speed is definitely a huge component of that. So I think once I get to the second or third, maybe the third template, so we'll run through two templates. so you guys can see how quickly. And this is, again, this is live time, so it's already done with the first template, 161 kids, and now it's working on the second template. And you can just see exactly how fast this system is working. So I'm going to go ahead and after this template, I'm going to speed this up just so we're not just sitting here watching these being made. But again, you guys, I think this is a pretty decent proof of concept to see how fast Qmate is actually creating these. All right, guys, so it has finished all 785 of those images, and it didn't take very long. I mean, just a couple minutes. So it's now actually uploading these into GotPhoto directly. So again, I don't have to upload these. So it's going to take, it's saying about 4 minutes for it to upload all of these images. So again, it's taking that step off of my plate. So I'm going to go ahead and speed through this just so we don't have to sit here and wait for it to upload. All right, guys, and we're back. So the upload has been completed, and you can see that up here. We're going to go ahead and hit OK, and then I'm going to jump into our GotPhoto account real quick just so you guys can see what this looks like. So I'm going to refresh this, and then right here it created that standard album. So when I click in here, now I have all of my kids on the backgrounds right here. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go in and jump into Qmate again. And we're just going to go back to template selection, right? So I'm going to go ahead and bring this back out because I got my ugly mug there in the corner and it doesn't like having both. So I'm going to remove all these templates now. And we're going to separate those standard images into their folders. So like I said, I'm going to take you all through that. So we're going to go back into our template selection. We've already imported all of the photos. So now we're just going to pick some of the memory mates and stuff that we want to use. So we're going to go ahead and use this memory mate. I'm going to, let's see, we're going to use the same one, but just as like a poster style. And we're going to go ahead and pick a couple more. Let's see. Game on, maybe? Yeah, sure. Except we can't use that one because it says YMCA, so we're going to take that one off. Okay, let's the only thing you got to be careful of is if you're using specific leagues on here, make sure that you're not mix and matching those because that can be embarrassing, which is why you'll see here like I've got, you know, for volleyball or for that was a specific league and then this is just a generic. So, and for some reason there's a kid in this one. So this is a good point though. So I forgot to take out the sample image when I set this up. And I've got, again, a name there. So I can actually edit this template and it instantly brings this up. So all I have to do is, let's say I want to change that from WCPR to DTMS. I can do that. And then I can go into the image and make that bigger if I want, make it smaller. But I can also get rid of that sample and then insert the placeholder. So you don't have to go into the original file to do that. You can actually do it directly in Qmate. So we're just going to go ahead and save those changes, pop open Qmate, and boom, all of a sudden we've got the changes in there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do hazardous. And then I like, I do like this this we are template as a memory mate. So we'll go ahead and do that as well. All right, so that's going to be the 5 templates I'm going to run for these kids. And so now, again, we go to preview output, and boom, all of a sudden, now we've got custom templates that we can run for everybody. And you can see now it's actually switching out the name, right? So same thing. We can check all the templates, make sure they're running. We can go to wrestling or girls basketball, cheer, what have you, right? So, but I am going to go back to my template selection, and because I have these all as different albums, they're going to save in different albums. So I'm going to, I want the final one to be custom images. So I just type that in and then simply copy and paste. So we'll copy and paste those, and we are good to go. So we're going to go back to preview output and GotPhoto export. Same thing, template album, and then we're going to start our export. So same thing, it's going to, because we had 5 templates, we're at 785 images. I'm going to select yes, and now it's creating those new images. Now, the thing is I want to separate those standard images I had before. So while Qmate is building these, as long as it's not uploading, I'm safe to do so. All right, so I'm going to go back to my photo management, and I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. All right. The problem is if I separate these now, they're going to separate into these other folders. So I actually have to delete all of these folders in order for this to work. So if GotPhoto is watching this right now, this would be much, much simpler if we had a little check mark here, click, 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 and delete. Because this isn't bad with 4 or 5 teams, but with some of my bigger leagues, when we start talking, you know, hundreds or even thousands, I have to individually delete these. So that would be a nice little feature. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go into my standard, and same thing we did before, right? Individual actions, and I'm going to resort those to album and let that resort. Now, if you're not confident that you can get this done before that starts, do all of this before you start that, because once this starts to upload, it's going to resort your custom images as well. And I don't want that to happen. So now I've got all of these separated. I can actually delete my standard because there's no reason to have it. And now I'm back to where I was. So now I can go back in here, and remember, I no longer have a team photo in there. So now I have to go back through and re-upload my teams, which does take a second, but again, I've got this running in the background. So I'm in a lot better shape. Again, when you guys can start automating a lot of this process, that's where you can start offering a lot of different options to the parents, and that's what they like. Think about when you started adding multiple poses. Well, now you're adding multiple poses times multiple backgrounds, and that's where things get really, really exciting for them, and really, really exciting for your bank account. Because a download all looks a lot better with 50 images than it does 3. So we're going to go wrestling, upload, wrestling. All right. And that's still running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and speed up this video just to get it through and get everything uploaded. And then I'm going to show you guys how I set up my job. So that way you can lock your memory mates. And I did this in another video as well, but I want you guys to see now, again, just from start to finish, how we're using those price profiles. So see you guys in a second. All right, guys, and we're back. So I just want to show you real quick. So here's all of our galleries, all of our albums. And so we've got all of our standard albums here, so we can click on those and see, we've got all of our wrestling images with the original backgrounds we dropped in. And now here's our custom images, right? So here's the 5 templates we chose, and they are all on there. So names and everything, looking good. Cool. So in the settings tab, so this price profile is our global price profile, right? So that is the price profile that we're using for everybody, okay? And so we're going to go ahead and click on it. So I've got this basketball 23 pre-merged, and so I can save those settings. Click on photo management. Now here's a couple things, right? So wrestling, if I want to change it to wrestling, all I have to do is the same thing as I'm going to do with my custom, right? So my custom, I want to charge a little bit more, and you may want to lock it to an 8x10 or whatever, because you got memory mates in there. So you click on album actions, edit album settings, and you can actually override the standard price profile. So what we did was we created a custom products tab, or a custom products price profile, and the prices are just a little bit higher. So when I do that and I hit save, you're going to notice on the side of the custom images now has that price profile listed, so I know that these images are being charged at that price. Another total side note, when the parents log in to this album, whatever album is at the top is going to be the first images they see. So I want them to see these custom images because they're the coolest, right? That's what I'm trying to sell, is I'm trying to upsell them to the customs. So I want to show that first. So make sure you have that on the top. And again, you go through the same exact process if you want to switch these to, say, wrestling, trading cards, and so on and so forth. So hopefully this helps, and I'm going to go ahead and put in all of our stuff in the settings, and I'm going to put this job to selling. So this is literally my exact process that you guys saw here in just a few minutes. So once we get these online, emails are going to go out, and parents will start purchasing. So, all right, guys, hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, you know where to catch me. See y'all.